In this video, I'll summarise the plot of As You Like It in its 5 acts and give you an analysis of the story. The play opens in the court of Duke Frederick, who has usurped the throne from his older brother Duke Senior and banished him to the Forest of Arden. Meanwhile, Orlando, the youngest son of the late Sir Rowland de Boys, is mistreated by his older brother Oliver, who denies him his inheritance and education. Orlando proves his worth by defeating the court wrestler, Charles, catching the attention of Rosalind, Duke Senior's daughter, who is still allowed at court because she is the best friend of Duke Frederick's daughter, Celia. However, Duke Frederick soon banishes Rosalind out of jealousy. Celia, unwilling to be separated from her cousin, decides to flee with her. To ensure their safety, Rosalind disguises herself as a young man named Ganymede, while Celia takes on the identity of a poor woman named Aliena. Together they escape to the Forest of Arden, accompanied by the court jester, Touchstone. In the Forest of Arden, Duke Senior and his followers live a peaceful, pastoral life, embracing nature's simplicity. Orlando, fleeing from Oliver's attempts to kill him, also arrives in the forest with his loyal servant, Adam. Meanwhile, Rosalind, as Ganymede, and Celia, as Aliena, settle in the forest and encounter local shepherds, including the lovesick Silvius and the disdainful Phoebe. Rosalind learns that Orlando is also in the forest, leaving love poems dedicated to her on trees. Delighted but still in disguise, she decides to test Orlando's love by offering to cure him of his infatuation, by having him pretend that Ganymede is actually Rosalind. As Orlando plays along with Ganymede's lessons in love, his feelings only deepen. Meanwhile, Phoebe, who was supposed to love Silvius, falls for Ganymede, completely unaware that he is actually Rosalind. Touchstone the Fool also finds romance pursuing a shepherdess named Audrey in a comic subplot. Elsewhere, Duke Frederick, enraged by his daughter's disappearance, orders Oliver to find and return Celia and Rosalind. If he fails, he will be stripped of his wealth and land. Thus, Oliver sets out for the forest, unaware of how his life will soon change. Orlando's love for Rosalind remains steadfast, even as Ganymede pushes him to prove it through his role-playing. Meanwhile, Oliver arrives in the forest and has a life-changing encounter with Orlando. Orlando saves Oliver from a lion, leading Oliver to repent for his past cruelty. His transformation is so profound that he soon falls in love with Celia, unaware of her true identity. Meanwhile, Phoebe remains infatuated with Ganymede, despite Silvius's continued devotion. The many tangled romances begin moving toward resolution, setting the stage for the final act. Rosalind, still in disguise, orchestrates a grand resolution. She promises Orlando that she will produce the real Rosalind for him to marry. She also agrees to marry Phoebe, on the condition that if Phoebe still wishes to wed Ganymede, she must instead marry Silvius. On the appointed day, Rosalind sheds her disguise, revealing her true identity. Orlando joyfully embraces her, and Phoebe, realizing the truth, finally accepts Silvius's love. Oliver and Celia also marry, while Touchstone and Audrey provide comic relief with their own unconventional union. In the final twist, Duke Frederick undergoes a sudden transformation, renouncing his throne and restoring Duke Senior's rightful rule. The play concludes with joyful celebrations, music, and a final epilogue delivered by Rosalind. One of the central themes of As You Like It is love in its many forms, romantic, platonic, and self-discovery. The play explores love's transformative power through Orlando and Rosalind's devotion, Silvius's unrequited passion, and Oliver's redemption through Celia's affection. Rosalind's disguise as Ganymede allows her to test Orlando's love, proving that love is not just about physical attraction, but about emotional depth and constancy. Additionally, the shifting identities in the forest suggest that love transcends social status and expectations. The contrast between the corrupt court and the liberating Forest of Arden highlights the theme of nature versus civilization. The court, filled with power struggles and deceit, represents the artificiality and rigidity of society, while the forest offers freedom, transformation, and self-discovery. In Arden, characters shed their previous identities, grow emotionally, and form genuine relationships. However, the play does not suggest that civilization is entirely flawed. By the end, the lessons learned in the forest are brought back to the court, restoring balance and harmony.